So in your first steps windsurfing with an SUP board, regardless of the shape and size of the board, what you're going to find is as you get up, you're going to come up from your knees, get up on the board, bring your front foot up first, back knee on the board, and then come up to a standing position. You'll find because the fins are in the back, the boards immediately want to it's going to want to turn downwind, and it's going to be difficult for you to go upwind. You don't need to sheet in the wing with a lot of power. You keep it above your head and keep your weight on the windward rail. So on the upwind rail, tilting the board slightly sideways, and that'll really help you go upwind instead of just immediately heading off downwind and blasting down the beach. So be real easy with the wing. You don't need to make a ton of power. You just kind of feather it and lean into your heels of the board to try and drive the board upwind. So we're bringing in my daughter Christina, who's 13, and she's just started windsurfing and wing foiling, to show you the basic steps in getting going on the water, starting with just getting comfortable with the wing, holding it, and learning what the wind does with the wing. And again, you need to do this for at least 10 minutes or so, switching sides, not just going in one direction, because it's very different learning in one way and then trying to go the other direction. So Christina will show you how to get up on the board, start on your knees, bring your front foot up, stand up, and then learn to deal with the wing. So in the beginning, you want to hold both arms straight and just find the balance point of the wing. You'll find that if you pull in too much with your backhand, it's going to create a lot of power. You can just let go of your backhand and hold it with your front hand to regain your neutral position. So play with it, sheet in and out, learn the dynamic of the wing, and in the beginning, it'll want to come back at you like this. Learn to keep it above your head and just play with it on the beach before you get into the water. So you're dealing with one learning stage at a time. First dynamic of the wind and the wing on the beach, and then add the board to it. Okay, when you're learning, you have to remember your backhand is your throttle. And you don't need to muscle this like a windsurf sail. You feather it, you get power in it, and you actually go faster if you let out a little bit. So if you put too much power into your backhand and it starts to pull you off the board, just let go with your backhand, regain your composure with your front hand, and start all over again. So again, you carry your wing on the downwind side, carry your board on the upwind side, keeping your wing away from fins and foils and whatnot. And then you get onto the board from the windward side as well. You can start out and get comfortable with the wing on your knees, but the less time you spend on your knees and the quicker you get up on your feet, the quicker your learning experience is going to be. Front foot first, followed by the back foot. And then you keep pressure on the windward rail and your back foot especially to get the board to go the direction you want it to. Front foot first, followed by the back foot. And then you keep pressure on the windward rail and your back foot especially to get the board to go the direction you want it to. When you do fall, climb on the board from the windward side and then just reel in the leash, grabbing the handles, and then starting over again. It's important when you fall to remember not to pull the wing down with you, not to go crashing down and putting tons of pressure on the connection between the strut with the handles and the leading edge. You have to remember this is an inflated structure, it's sewn, it's not indestructible. So you do want to be gentle with it. So in the beginning, you're probably going to end up doing the, quote, walk of shame, as we call it a little bit. This is a great way to do it. Just walk along the shallow water with your wing on your board, back upwind, so that you can start over again. This is substantially better than dragging your board up the beach, and a lot easier than carrying both of them at the same time. When you transition from an SUP board to the foil board, the first steps are exactly the same. Climb up on your knees. Start with your front foot first. Then get up onto your back foot and then find the trim position, meaning the fore and aft position that balances your weight on the board. And you also have to remember that the foils don't take off like an airplane, requiring a bunch of speed and then taking off. What you're trying to do is just pressurize the front wing. So when you feel enough wind in the wing that you can pump and get some power in it, you start pumping your front to back foot, almost like ollieing a skateboard, and try and put pressure under the front foil, and that's what lifts you up. Once you feel it coming up, you need to be steady, calm down, and put pressure on your front foot. Once you get up on the foil, you can be calm and just hold light pressure on the Windsurfer. You don't need to sheet in real hard to keep going. It's amazing how little pressure is required once you're up and foiling. So once you get up on the wing, it normally requires quite a bit of front foot pressure to keep from overlifting and popping the wing out of the water. Oh, like that. Good save. One thing to remember as well, especially if you're a windsurfer coming to foiling, is that you hold the wing more over your head, creating lift that way than straight in front of you the way you would a windsurf sail. So to get going, again, it's not creating a bunch of speed and taking off like an airplane. When you feel enough pressure, you just start pumping your front foot to load the front wing, the front foil, and that will bring you up. And once you feel yourself lifting out of the water, you calm down, bring pressure onto your front foot, and keep constant pressure on your front foot, and that'll trim you out. The main thing is to keep your weight and the power straight above the foil, not way out to the side like windsurfing, but keep your body pretty upright and try to keep the wing fairly straight above your head rather than in front of you in the beginning, and that will help to keep things stable and get you going much more quickly. You want to remember to keep your feet centered on the board, not way out on the rail, both front and back foot along the center line of the board so that you're balancing on the foil. It's a little bit like riding a unicycle, where you have to remember that you're up on top of that singular platform and your weight needs to be balanced right above it. Most people have a strong side and a weak side. So if you skateboard, or you surf, or you snowboard, you're either going to be goofy foot or regular foot. And you're probably going to be better initially on that side, and coming the other direction is going to be a bit more challenging, but you just have to learn and remember to keep your feet centered and keep the power straight above you.